Foundation 45 is a 501c3 nonprofit that funds counseling services for mental health, addiction, and suicide survivors. In addition to providing services, it works to break the stigma surrounding these topics. Foundation 45 recognizes that musicians, artists, and creative types are often at a higher risk for issues with mental health and addiction. The organization's goal is to serve the Dallas-Fort Worth creative community by providing free, top-tier mental health and recovery services. You can learn more about Foundation 45 at foundation45.org. Foundation 45. Live fast, die old. I'm Andrew Sherman. I'm a Texas transplant who has always been in pursuit of art as a career. I've played in bands, pursued an acting career in Hollywood, but I found it behind the lens of a camera here in Dallas, Texas. I was born in New York, I've lived in Chicago, Los Angeles, Austin, but I love Dallas. There's a magical artistic scene in Dallas that mostly goes unnoticed to the outside world. This podcast is focused on what makes it so special and the people who make it thrive artistically. If you don't live here, and even if you do, you might not have heard of them. This is the Dallas Famous Podcast. So who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all grown up? Who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all for us? Yeah. This week on the Dallas Famous Podcast, we have Skyler Chilton and Scarlett McPherson, the creative minds behind the electrifying band King Clam. King Clam is fresh off their 2 wins at the Dallas Entertainment Awards, where they won Best Punk Group and Scarlett won Best Rock Vocalist. We get to hear how the girls meet and the birth of the band. We also get into the songwriting process and some of the inspiration behind the songs, as well as the fashion and the live shows. The band is working on its first album and planning to tour. We also have an exclusive King Clam song called Luxury. This was a very fun one, and I think you're going to hear that, so check it out, King Clam. Okay, it's the Dallas Famous Podcast. We're the Deep Ellum Community Center. First time ever in this booth, and I've said it before, I'm not a technical genius. In fact, that's like...
Neither am I.
Yeah. So just, first off, are you guys prepared to come back and do it again?
Yeah, we're prepared.
Okay, Scarlett and Skyler.
Hello.
Welcome. I feel like, so I used to host Open Mic at Arco, and I like kind of joked about how being like band dad, and I remember clearly your first live vocal performance there.
Yeah.
After that performance, it was like you had just played like Carnegie Hall. It was the high was it was infectious. I mean, it was exciting. Like,
I
it was
remember whenever you were like, why aren't you up there? And I used to get kind of sad because I was like, he's right.
I played drums.
Well,
I have a picture of when
Right.
we first did it. And we first did it. And she
Yeah.
was playing drums and I was singing to her drum track.
What song was that? Was it Etta James?
It was,
Yeah.
It was an Etta James song.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want you
Yeah.
be no slave. I don't want you work all day.
Yeah.
But
Is it
wait,
that one?
was it?
What one are you talking about?
I mean, I don't remember songs from.
I
just remember that you
just want to
performed.
make
But
love to
were you writing before you actually performed? Were you playing before you actually got on stage?
I've always been writing. I've played in like church bands back in the day when I was younger, but I've never been in like a band since then till
Okay.
this. So
Okay.
I've always been writing my own songs. So.
But I just remember it seemed like it was a big deal to get on stage. So I guess
Yeah.
that was something that you hadn't.
I had stage fright big time.
Okay.
And actually, I think this is the only band I've been in because she pulled me out of that, and it took meeting her to get there at all.
Yeah.
So she was shoving me on that stage, and I had never done that really in Dallas ever. So
Right.
shoving? I was shoving,
Well,
kicking and screaming. I said, "Get up there, girl. We're gonna do it."
okay, let's back up. Like, where are y'all from?
I'm from Kentucky. I grew up in a small town in Kentucky called Owensboro. Got out of there, went to college in New York City at Parsons for painting.
Huh.
And got kicked out because I didn't have enough money to continue. And so then I moved here with an ex because I knew I didn't want to go back to that small town, and I wanted to go somewhere else. And so I came here. I knew I'd be fine. So
Yeah. Cool.
now 7 years later, here I am.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're from.
Well, I was born in Dallas, over there in Parkland, and then I moved to Memphis, Tennessee, North Fraser. It was hell. Then we moved back to Arlington after 6 years. Then I went to high school out there. And then one day I was just like, I'm just going to go back to Dallas. Check it out. There's something to do out there,
Yeah.
And I was feeling like I wanted to be in it. Used to go to Deep Ellum when Deep Ellum was Deep Ellum.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Were you also like, what was your beginning in music? Like, what
I didn't even know I had it. Actually, well, I mean, I was doing orchestra and doing cello stuff for all through elementary school, junior high, and high school. That was my only music, background. And then, I don't know, I dated a few musicians when I was like in my early 20s, and I just had like this feeling. I was like, there's something about this. I want to do it, but I didn't tell anybody. And then my dad just was like, let's do karaoke. And I have stage fright, so I was like, never did karaoke. No. And like he just stuck me on there, and I tried it. Sang an Aretha song, and this lady was up front, up in my face. You better sing it. You better sing it, girl. And I was like sweating. But I came out and I did it, and my dad was like, that was good. And I was like, what? So then I just like started singing everywhere, like all the open mics doing rock and roll songs.
Right.
And even if it wasn't a rock and roll night, we're doing it. Put on American Woman, let's go.
Right. I remember, my memory of you at open mic was like just doing jams at the end, and you would just be going off, and we'd harmonize sometimes. And I remember thinking, why isn't this girl in a band? And I guess you were about to be, basically.
Well, I was singing at Balcony Club a lot. I was just trying to get over the whole stage fright thing, because I did the claw. It was painful getting up there. And I was just like having a hard, my hand would lock up at the bottom down here, and this is where it was.
Right.
Just this, clawed up. And
I might prefer that to the Mariah Carey thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start putting your hands up, it looks better, but down here is just not a good look.
It's weird.
Anyway, so doing that, and then I wanted a band really bad, and it wasn't until after I met her. She moved in with me, and we were messing around, and I did join this other band, but it didn't work out because there was no direction, and I didn't know what I was doing in it, and I was like, this is not it. So then we were trying to get a band together for a minute, and it just kind of didn't happen until we moved out, and then COVID happened. We had a ton of time, and then we just started messing around with it, and I was, whining so much about getting a band together, and everybody knew that I was whining about it. And then I went to FOE one time, and that's how we found Austin. I was like, I really want a band. And he was like, I play bass. And I was like, So then me and her had like some budding songs that we started when we did live together. And then he came in and put some bass lines on it, and then it was just like coming together. Yeah. And then one day we were playing them, and then her roommate at the time came out and played drums, and all of a sudden it made it real. And then it was that, and they were like, and then Austin signed us up for open mic, and we had like, we were like, no, but he did it. He's like, you only, if we don't play now while we're, inebriated and not ready, when are we ever gonna be? So I think I might have been on acid. I think I was on acid that time.
We all were, and I had to work the next morning, so I wasn't.
Yeah, it was at Freeman, and we got on stage to do what we've been practicing, and it was crazy because I was on acid.
Right? Were you on acid on purpose, or you just were on acid?
We were just at band practice. We were all like, I think Blake was like, let's take acid. And I was like, no. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And I thought she did, but she didn't. So she had me there. And then we go to Freeman just to hang out. We're just hanging out, And then Austin just signs us up. And we were like, ooh, what? Oh.
And at this point, you just played a few times together? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had like maybe 3 songs at the time.
Right. Well, that's perfect.
So we played them, and then people liked it. And then
we
it
just
became...
kept practicing there. And then we got a new song, and we went there and practiced and posted it regrettably.
We made a band account.
That's how we got a show.
We were talking about that, so now you can scrub it.
Yeah.
We were talking about scrubbing Instagram before you got
Everybody
here.
does that.
We're like trying to figure out why,
That's hilarious.
but it's like takes me so long. Like I got hacked, so it's taking me like forever to get back, and
Me too.
I'm like, why would you scrub it? But people do anyway.
I don't know. I think the first becomings of a band is,
Cringe.
I don't know. I kind of like it because
Well-
it kind of shows you how far you've come.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
could see both sides. I could see maybe you find a place on the website to store that stuff, or
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not telling you to scrub. I think
Sentimental
I also
value.
well, because you guys are. I mean, you've come a long way in a short time, so I'd be proud of that. I'd want people to see that improvement personally, but
My uncle said that we built something out of 2 grains of sand.
yeah,
And
out of
I
nothing.
just-
Back up a little bit more. How did you guys actually meet?
We were serving at HG Supply Company, and we had a mutual friend through there. And I never talked to her before. She kind of scared me. But, I love people that scare me. It means good stuff for the most part. So we met one night. We were out drinking, and then we went to that person's house, and I played acoustic guitar, and we sang Janis Joplin together. And then I had never jammed with another woman really ever, and especially to her. So I love that, and then we just started talking about having a band for years before we even did it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so then I saw something that you guys took a trip to China, and that was kind of like a bonding.
I went first, and then I came back, and I was all enlightened, and and I knew, I kind of saw it in her little eye that she was she wanted to go, but also I thought that it'd be really good for her. I thought it'd be good for everybody, honestly, but and we had the opportunity to go again. Me and my friend DJ made sure that she could go with us, and got passports, got set up. We're going together, It happened, and we went.
We stayed at a monastery for a month, studied Buddhism, with the monks.
Wow.
We lived as they did, and it was a really, really interesting experience. It was really nice just to have the time, because we were usually just working our lives away. And once we had that time, and there was a 7-day silent meditation where you just, didn't speak to anybody. You just meditated for hours.
Wow.
In the day, and I had a lot of revelations, and I had a lot of visions about us playing on a stage, and we came back, and it happened. It was pretty wild.
Wow. Okay.
And we were on the train on the way to come back, and
Sleeper Train, Harry Potter.
She was pretty upset about a breakup, and I had my acoustic guitar that I lugged around China, by the way. Oh my God, it was painful, but
Proud
I
of you.
did that, and it worked out, and we wrote 69 on that train.
I just want to say I was fighting it too. I was not happy. I was not in the mood. And she was like, we're gonna do
It's
it.
sit down.
She's like,
Here's a
look, I've got
song."
this riff,
Yeah.
and all you gotta do is just talk about it. And I was like, And also I hadn't been pushed really to do that either, And so then, I don't know. I just had some lyrics to put down, and she helped me with some melody, and then 69 happened.
Huh. Okay.
And it was a very sassy song. It was like, all right, cool. You're going to do all that. I'm going to do it too when I get back. I don't know how I'm going to do it because I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to do it. And I did it.
So did Austin help you kind of figure out how to be a band? Because he's been in bands. Is that kind of part
Once
of it?
that bass line was added to anything that we did, it made it a song. It changed it,
Yeah.
and there's something there, So
It felt like a group, I think,
Yeah.
definitely, and that was helpful. And he didn't quite, do any of the management or anything, but all that just kind of came to us at the time, and we kind of worked through that on our own. We've always just been the managers.
But he was our rock at the time.
Musically for sure made that come together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is he? Did he take off? Is he still in the band or?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
he left a couple months ago. More than 6, I think.
Yeah, a while ago.
Maybe a year.
Yeah.
Well,
A while ago. But yeah, I think he had a lot going on in his life and his family, unfortunately.
yeah,
and
nothing
Sure.
like bad.
Yeah.
It's
No,
a
I
big
knew-
commitment, and I feel like he felt
We were playing a
overwhelmed by it.
lot.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel like there's a lot of different philosophies on how much to play, but starting out, I think you guys did it right because people know who you are now, and you haven't been around that long. I mean, part of it is maybe because you're two like hot rocker chicks.
Oh no!
But that's not. But no, that people don't come back for that. They're not going to come back if the music isn't great.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and we care, you know. We're not going to play anything we wouldn't want to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we did play a lot. We're definitely taking a break now. I mean, we
From
have a couple
playing.
shows booked
Yeah.
in DFW for the spring and summer, and we're like, hey, like no more at the moment. We're trying to kind of take it to the next level, and I think that's what that takes for
Writing
sure.
more material
Yeah.
with
yeah.
a new band.
Yeah. You don't want to oversaturate either. Like you did that. People know who you are now. You can kind of.
We have big
And
dreams.
now we need to write new songs as well. I mean, we've just been playing our first album and a couple covers for the longest time.
Right.
So now that we have a new band that's more committed, we're super excited about. They write some cool stuff. We've already written 3 new songs.
Cool.
So
Cool. Did you say that you had one maybe that we can play?
I have one recorded from the first album that we haven't put out yet.
Okay. Do you want
But,
to
yeah.
talk about what that is?
Luxury.
Luxury. Yeah. That one is kind of one of our heavier ones that I wrote, I think, towards the end of the first album. It's just kind of like anger
Say it,
about not justified anger, but anger about kind of like being poor and seeing kids that kind of get things handed to them and what they don't do with it, and what, you know, if I had that, I would do with that.
Sure.
That's kind of the basis.
It's
of
like
that
mixed
one.
with that and like some terrible relationships that we were dealing with at the time too. So it's like a little bit of a mix
Mm-hmm.
Right.
in the lyrics. It's like that. Oh yeah, and this. By the way.
You said love is a luxury, and you said you don't got the time for me yet, but you get everything you want. You think that no is a suggestion. If I were you begging, I'm not gonna take your shit. Ooh, because I'm over it. And I'll get everything I want, yeah. On your knees with a confession. If I were you begging, would I die a lot more? If I were you begging, would I die a lot more? Will This is the broke out blues.
Sometimes I get a little emotional when I sing that song. Like if there's something going on in my life, especially if it has anything to do with people. Some of those lyrics, I'm just like there's some high notes in there, and I'm just like,
I wrote that melody and I was singing it. I was like, this is so hard to sing, but she is going to kill it.
Hard to sing technically or hard to sing emotionally?
technically. So we had to
Technically.
figure that one out for
I
a
mean,
minute because she
it's-
was singing it, and her register is a little higher than mine. She's like, you can do it, you can do it. So she kind of pushes me to be a better singer all the
No.
time. All the time. You know,
That does make me wonder though. Are there songs that you have trouble emotionally doing, like that you wrote about something that was so?
69 will always be emotional for me.
Yeah, 100%.
And, because we wrote it together, and I remember the feeling that I had whenever she was making me do it, and I don't ever want to be there again, you know? However, it did make a good song. It's like one of our chillest songs, but it's like the most packed and like feeling, I think.
Right. What does it look like, your writing process?
I think starting out, it was kind of like I would write something and then I would bring it to her in Austin. And then we'd work out melodies together, and then we both write lyrics.
Each song's different. For instance, Stars, that one was a wild card.
Yeah.
Because I had a dream about it. I was in my room, and I was drinking a Lone Star. I was depressed, and I was listening to the radio. And there's a song I was jamming. I was like, this is good, rock and roll. And then I woke up, and I was like, wait, that's not a song. And then I was humming it to her, and then she found it on the guitar, and then that one was how that one was made. Right. And Roswell, I drew a picture of the desert, and I was like, all right, we got to make a riff that feels like we're walking through this desert, and like we're scared, and it's like a journey that we're about to take, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And she wrote this awesome like you know.
That's cool.
I did that, and they were like, we like that. I was like, really?
I was like, that's so good.
Well, that's another. So are you kind of getting more confident? Are you starting to like be less surprised when you come up with something like, I know this is good?
Yeah. I mean, I've always like been a songwriter, but this is a new version of music that I had never written, you know?
Right.
So I think it's challenged me to get better for sure at playing guitar, period. And moving over, I mean, even before this band, I had never had an electric guitar. I got my first electric guitar ever for this band. First amp for this band.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I had a band. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely more confident, I think, now in my writing and my ability to write specific genres, I guess.
We check in with each other too. It's like, do you like that? Do you like that?
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, I like that.
Now,
but what about this?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a team, so you got to both be cool with it.
Yeah, and we had never quite had like a full band that was willing to write with us until now, and so that's why we're really excited about these new songs coming out, because they've written stuff, and so 2 of them that we have, they've written, and then we're putting our stuff on top of, and that's never happened before, and it's really fun.
It also has challenged us in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's already made
a different
me better.
challenge. Like for instance, they come up with like the bass and the drum part, and now I'm writing lyrics to what they've written and coming up with melodies with that. And, you know, that was new. But you know what? It came out, and now that like the way it's going, it's like, ooh, this is tough stuff. You know?
I mean, I feel like once you like kind of like can, you know, hear what it's going to sound like, it gives you like, oh, I can go this far. I can go further than that. Like, I think that really helps developing it. Who are the new members, by the way?
Jimmy Hicks and Joe on the bass.
He won't give us his last name.
He won't give us his last name.
Joe on the
He
bass.
doesn't have one.
Mysterious.
But they were with Late Night
But
Call.
yeah, they were in the Late Night Call band.
Okay.
And so that was with Ricky, the guitarist. And
we
so
played
they
with
broke
them
up.
at Trees, yeah.
Yeah, they broke up, I think, maybe a year ago now, and it kind of dawned on me recently when I was looking for a drummer that I should hit up Jimmy and see if he has any projects, because I hadn't seen him in any. And then he immediately was like, well, also we should have Joe come on. So we did, and it's been working out.
Because they work together already, so it's like a package.
Right.
Double duos together,
Yeah.
and it is dynamic.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so you haven't done a live show yet with them?
Yeah, we
Oh,
have.
you have?
We've done 2. We've done 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to get to that now. Like, the live show is like, you have to go see King Clam if you haven't seen these guys. It's so much energy. The fashion is, I don't know what to make of it sometimes.
You
to be
know,
honest.
it's definitely evolved
It
into
has
what
evolved.
it is now.
It has.
Are you going for something specific, or are you just like do friends help you come up with that stuff? You do it
No,
yourself?
we do it together. We get ready together.
She's
so.
always been a fashionista.
Ah.
She's always been that, and I
Sure.
think she's helped me develop my own style throughout. She's always had like the rocker look, and for some reason, I don't know, we just started getting more and more like Because you can't wear these types of outfits on the street.
No.
Right.
Right?
Let's
You
wear something that we don't
Boulevard
ever wear.
You
Like, look
can't.
at Kiss, for instance.
But,
they're like, we're going to become a character.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And so I think that
Yeah.
we kind of did that. And, lately she said something in an article about being a superhero. And I was like, lately I've been thinking, I was like, this is cool. Like, wear like a leather leotard with some tights. And then I've been wearing gloves, like long gloves and like.
Capes.
She had a cape one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you need to have it more than once.
But chains and metal and all that stuff. It's like, but I think at first when we were trying all this stuff, it was kind of like trial and error because like, I think somebody told me, it's like, you really need to start investing in pasties because, boy, you are popping out. And I was, there's no way to tie them babies down. And, this is before
Duct tape.
This is before we were losing weight and stuff like that. Like, things were just
I'll
popping
borrow
out all
duct
over.
tape from the bar. I'll be like, y'all have duct tape? I've done that so many times. And then one time, Double Wide gave me single wide stickers.
Nice. Yeah, advertise. I mean, it's smart.
So now we have like the hop around test. You put things on and hop around a lot, see if anything happens.
Oh, you test them out.
Oh yeah, we test
That's
everything
smart.
out. And like, now I'm like, now I know what I can't wear and what I can wear to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah. We've also been considering kind of going into a more masculine era because we kind of dress more masculine, like in our everyday.
Sure.
And we kind of just want to be like, yeah, fuck you guys for saying that this is the only reason, that anybody pays attention. Like, it's not that,
It's not.
But I mean,
I like a little fantasy.
It's been fun. And I don't know why everybody has to look at it like that.
No, I mean, honestly, you touched on something that, like, because when I moved to Dallas, I was kind of like at the tail end of performing because I was just too tired of trying to put bands together. But I was like, there's so much good music here. What would make you stand out? Make it a performance, not a gig.
Right.
Make it a show. And like the character thing is like really a big step in that. And I think maybe that's without realizing that. Like, I didn't really think about it because I know you guys. So I did like now I think about it. It's character. It's like it's fun to go up there and just
change.
It's fun. It's
do
fun.
I change every time. Like I still have stage fright. I still get nervous. And now I'm just like, when I get on stage, I kind of get like this evil transformation of I'm just going to be angry. And like, I just kind of like take it off. If I'm nervous, the more I kind of like look at people and I'm just like, all right, well, I'm nervous. So I'm just going to play it off like I'm angry.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Does that give the music a harder edge? I mean,
yeah, it does. I think it does.
I feel like it does a little bit.
It's pretty hard already, but she definitely she like does stuff like that.
No, I've got photos where you're making some pretty mean faces. I do have to throw in too that one of my favorite things to photograph is your hair in motion.
Yeah.
Because I don't nail it most of the time, so when I do, I'm like,
100%.
I was made fun of a lot in like elementary school for this hair, and it's just amazing now that like, all right, I didn't know that it was like a gift, and like now it's like, all right, you're in a rock and roll band with this giant hair. I mean, come on,
it's sort of like
it's like, I swear we're not hair metal.
People,
I know.
People call us hair metal just because she has hair, which is so funny because it's just her natural hair.
Hair punk.
We'll go out and she'll have her hair straightened and people will be like, hello. Like, they don't recognize her.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that. Okay, interesting.
I remember we were out recently and someone was like, oh my God, your hair. And Skyler goes, to see what I have to live with.
That's funny. All right. Well, I mean, I guess it's unique in the sense there's not enough women that are rocking hard, but like you're good. It's not because you're rocking hard. So I'm really happy that you guys won this award. You won a couple of awards actually at the Entertainment Awards.
Yeah, we won together, and then I won the vocals, which I was very surprised.
I wasn't.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I wasn't.
I wasn't at all.
I went in there, and we were just happy to be there. I'll tell you that. I was like, we're gonna watch this, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah. It was fun.
And then all of a sudden, the sweat.
And you guys.
We had just taken a caffeine pill too.
What?
Well, because we were sleepy and we're in there and we're just like kind of like
I had them from a road trip and I was like, you know what?
Because you were like kind of.
She was like, "Do you want to take a caffeine pill?" And I was like, "I can wake up right now."
Yeah.
But then we took it, and then
Sweat.
and then like we won, and then all of a sudden my heart started racing, and then we were sweating. And I was like,
Oh my god. That explains like
Palms
the
are
extra
sweaty.
like
Yeah.
walk you guys did and
Yeah.
across the state. That's funny.
"It was funny."
So I guess we know what's next, but like you're working on new material. You're kind of woodshedding from the live stuff until you kind of are you getting an album together? Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, I think we're gonna start recording the first one just so we have it, and then next is on the plans is tour. Obviously. So we're working up maybe something towards Chicago and back, because we have some connects out there. We've gotten new management recently.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, trying to figure it out.
Definitely want to get the first album out so we have something more than 2 songs on Spotify.
Yeah.
Right.
Working on all that. But, like, it's our first band and we're learning, that's all I have to say about it.
And
like,
it's expensive, and we
it's
have no
expensive.
help.
Like,
Yeah.
we do the best that we can with the amount of information that we're given daily. So, I mean, yeah, there's been people that we've had that said, I think you should go this route, or I think you should go this route. And it's like, it's kind of overwhelming at times. But, I think as long as we're together and we can have someone that we can sit down with and make plans and do things that make sense, we were going to come out with the best, options possible. And I think that's what where we're at now.
Right. Well, I respect that you guys are taking the time to be sure it's done right too, because I'm sure people have offered you like, hey, come over
we don't
and just
want to
do
just
this.
be playing, shows and it just be like, oh, cool, we were in a band once. No, we have big dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
We do.
No, I
We
respect
have
that.
dreams.
I respect that. No, the touring's good, and maybe you can get opening for some bigger bands and get some notoriety that way. And
Yeah, I
that's
definitely
exactly
want to
it
have
as
like
well.
a King Clam brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
maybe you kids could do the
good.
TikTok thing.
I
Well,
know.
we've been
We
talking
need
about it.
to.
Yeah.
We need to.
I mean, I didn't even know you weren't like that. We've
We've been talking about
we need
it,
to.
and
That's a
we've
thing.
been slapped in the face a couple of times
Yeah.
about not having a TikTok following, and it's like, oh God.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
But
I know.
we together are, I think we're hilarious. I think that we can come up. We do funny things all the time. It's like we can just film each other doing silly things, even with the band sometimes, and
feel like-
marketing that. Like, hey, not only are we talented, but you should hang out with us. We're a good time.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
we wanna
fashion
make
tips, even.
fashion
Yeah,
tips,
or, like, get ready
makeup
with
tips. We
makeup.
also
Yeah.
do a ton of makeup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
No,
it's,
I mean, maybe you're joking me or not. I think it all sounds like a good idea. I think actually people would be interested in that. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't have TikTok, so I wouldn't watch it, but when it
Right.
feeds to Instagram, I'll see it.
I
So.
could do like a really crazy like makeup takeoff, and it's just like all black and runny because I'm washing it off. Like, how do you get all that off? Well,
Oh man.
So
All
good.
right. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna say this was great. I hope that this recorded.
Yeah.
I hope
is that
we-
it?
I'm concerned about hers.
I'm a little concerned, but there's lots of audio magic we can do these days.
Yeah. Hit us with questions. We can do a Q&A if we need to. What time is it?
Let's see if your voice is. I figured it just locked. Technical difficulty.
I'd like to thank Scarlett and Skyler of King Clam. You can check them out online on the links and live. This episode was recorded at the Deep Ellum Community Center, so thanks for having us. Theme song, Unstoppable by Salim Nuralla. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, follow, all the good stuff, and share it with your friends. We'll see you next time.